Today's episode is sponsored by Some Edibles CBD infused products. That's SUM Edibles and can be found at
someedibles.com.
They have a variety of yummy treats, including
vegan organic gummies,
brown buttered chocolate chip cookies,
and marshmallow cereal bars, just to name a few.
For fans of the podcast, you can use the promo code WIFE, that's WIFE, to receive 10% off your order.
Again, promo code WIFE for 10% off your order.
So, head to someedibles.com today. Hi, everybody. This is Sarah, the Drunken Housewife.
And I'm Ian, her host husband, trying to keep her, on track as much as I can.
Which is a full-time job. Today we are talking to Dale Niehaus. Did I pronounce that right?
You got it right on the first time, so congrats to you.
Yay! It's like my goal in life to make sure I pronounce everybody's name correctly.
So she's got Dale right.
So Dale's right, yeah.
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
It is. Need to practice my elocution with that one. So Dale, you are like actor, you've done some producing, you've done some camera work, but you're also a fellow Hoosier, right?
Yes, ma'am. Born in Evansville.
Yeah.
Yep. I was gonna say, because we are I don't know if you know Lebanon, Indiana.
I've never been up there, but general idea, it's north. I know that. I can't remember if it's northwest or northeast. I'm trying to remember exactly.
It's like northwest of Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's in between Indianapolis and Lafayette, right in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I actually have relatives lived up in Indianapolis and even up in Lafayette, so I kind of know that area pretty good.
Yeah. So we still have to deal with Indy 5 traffic here in May.
Tell you what, though, it's nothing like driving through 5 p.m. Friday night rush hour traffic in Houston, though. Sheesh.
Okay, I will give you that one. I will give you that one. Yeah, because I know when we lived in Indianapolis, like every race weekend, that Friday I'd pack us all up and we'd come back to Lebanon and stay with my parents all weekend because it's like there's no way I could get to the grocery store.
Yeah, you can't get around
anywhere.
No.
Yeah.
Indianapolis traffic during the Indy 500 is no joke.
Yeah.
Or even a Colts game or any of that. It's hard to get through that stuff. It really is.
Yeah. I gave up. I'm like, call mom, go, Mama, can I come home? And she's like, sure. And of course, opening the grill up and, I think that's what everybody does.
This
weekend. You just grill.
I'm sure they do, at some point.
Yeah. So I was reading through your IMDb and one thing caught my eye and I'm wondering how many people, when just kind of flipping through, do this. I saw that you did the voice for Cowboy Cootie in the Cootie short. And my first thought was, oh, Cootie did something for kids. And then I got to reading the description of it.
Like,
no.
And
yeah. Definitely not for kids. It's a horror. It is not for kids. It was a kind of a fun project my friend did, and he asked me to do the voiceover for one of the little toys that he used in it. So it was kind of fun.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, honey, he did something for kids, and then I got to reading, and I'm like, no, it's not for kids. No,
but we're totally into that. We're both like horror nuts. So
yes.
we appreciate that.
Yes, we definitely are horror nuts. So we've been trying to find it. So, do you know if it's available anywhere? Because now our curiosity is
peaked. Yeah, we just definitely.
I'll have to contact Matthew Hunter and see where it can be viewed at. I will definitely let y'all know. I want to say it's out, but I want to say it's probably on. I don't think it's on YouTube, but let me find out exactly where you can see it at, and I will definitely let y'all know.
Yeah, because we looked on YouTube and could not find it anywhere.
No trailer or anything.
Nothing. So, because I was like, oh, I am so curious now. Because
I'll out for sure.
Yeah, because what cracks us up is his mother still has like the whole cootie, where you can build your own cootie thing. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure once I see that, I'm gonna be looking at that toy in a like completely different light. Completely different. So curiosity is peaked on that one. But yeah, you've done, just looking through your, everything. I'm like, you're kind of a jack of all trades. You've done in front of the camera, behind the camera, on the camera. You were a grip for, what was it? Are You Afraid of the Dark? I think it was.
Yeah, that was a tribute fan film that kind of it got taken down just because
Okay.
it was a fan film, and typically fan films you're allowed to be able to make that stuff without permission necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think the original creators, see, I don't know. I've heard different rumors. I don't know if they didn't get permission or because when they redid the remake. But either way, there was some copyright issues or something, so that had to be taken down. That was I was a character in that too. That was a fun little one, but it was kind of one of those that's like, met a lot of cool people, and that's pretty much what turned out with it. So
yeah.
Well, sometimes that's all you get out of it. I
Yeah.
totally get that.
Here's the thing with IMDb, if anybody doesn't know, once a project's been finished, unless the creator of that project takes it down, like takes the thing down or whatever, you can't remove a credit off IMDb. So like I have background credits on there, which I can't unfortunately take down because I do mostly speaking roles now, but unfortunately once something's up there and completed, you can't take it down. So like with that one particular kind of got removed. I'm unfortunately not able to untag myself from it, but that's okay. No, it was still a fun one to do.
But I mean, it in our viewpoint, because we have acting backgrounds, I mean, it still shows, hey, look, I've done that kind of work. I am familiar with that kind, the grip work and the producer work and all of that. So, and acting. So to me, somebody looking through your IMDb thinking, do I want to hire this guy for something? It's like, oh, he's got some experience in just about everything. He'd be a good guy on this low budget thing, because I could be like, Dale, can you hop in and
Yeah, unless it's some kind of horrific thing behind the scenes, nobody's gonna care.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, like recently I added it's not been on IMDb yet, but I did the main cast transportation for a feature film called Cricket here in Oklahoma that stars the if you remember the movie Respect about Aretha Franklin.
yes.
Okay.
Her was Sky. It's the little girl that plays young Aretha in that movie. She was actually the lead in this film, and so I did the main cast transportation for 6 to 8 weeks on that one. So that was a good experience being behind the scenes on that one too.
Yeah, because I know like a lot of child actors bringing it kind of around to her. It's a good thing for them to know, it's like there's only so many people in front of the camera.
Yeah.
But behind the camera is a whole lot of people that if one cog is missing, it can screw up like the entire day shoot.
Oh yeah.
So, it's like there when it comes to making a movie, there's really no, throwaway person, no person that can just, be done away with. So it's like, hey, if you weren't there one day, was she going to get to the set? It's just, I think it's really important for especially like child actors to know. It's like, hey, everybody's important in on a movie set. So yeah. Because I'm trying to remember there was like some child actor that, it was the kid that played Eddie and Eddie's father. Oh God, what is his name? I'm blanking.
Trying to think too.
He was also the new lead singer of the Dead Kennedys.
But Bill Bixby at one point was like, just remember, there's only like 2 of us right now in front of the camera, but count how many people are behind the camera. And so that kind of encouraged him to learn how to do all that stuff behind the camera. Because he's like, yeah.
See, there's actors out there that have never done crew work, and not all, but there are some that are not very respectful to crew. And that's my opinion. Yes, you can't really have a film without the actors, but you really can't have a film without crew. I mean, and the amount of crew, depending on the production of it, there's hundreds of crew people that behind the scenes doing different jobs to be able to make it happen. And so anytime I've been on a film set, and I always try to talk to some of the crew at least and just tell them, man, you guys bust your butt. Thank you for everything you do. And I think that's important to show them respect, because their job's the hardest, in my opinion. I mean,
Yeah.
an actor can, they're not an easy job, but when they're done acting, they're not on set anymore. The crew, most of them get there way before to set everything up, and then they stay way later. Some crew are working 12, 14-hour days sometimes, just making sure.
Easy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, I don't think a lot of people, realize that, they look at all I don't even know how many people sit through credits anymore. We do. Because I've got some friends that have done, the work that I'm like waiting for their name to come across. So I can be like, I know them, but yeah, it's like, I just don't think people realize how many little bits and pieces have to happen before Ryan Reynolds can go on and be Deadpool. There's all, cameras, lights, props, costumes, makeup, everything that has to go into it. And you're right. The actor's great, but he wouldn't look that great if the lighting wasn't right, the cameras weren't right, the makeup wasn't right, the costumes weren't right. I could tick off a million different things.
Oh yeah. What I'm interested in the transplanting, if you will, from Indiana to Oklahoma.
And then where do you live now? Are you still in Oklahoma?
Yes. Actually, I was married. Me and my now ex-wife live in the same town as Norman, which anybody doesn't know that. Sorry, it's not COVID. It's sorry, I had to put that.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't know Norman. It's the city where University of Oklahoma is at.
Okay.
Which is about 20, 25 minutes south of Oklahoma City. So the transition, that was a good one. So in 2014, two of our friends, which they're now divorced, but I'm still good friends with both of them, lived out here. So we visited 2014 that summer, and we liked it so much. And then just back in Evansville, just things weren't really going that good for us. And we were trying to save our marriage at the time. So we thought a new move would help. We moved out here in 2015, and then 5 years later I got divorced, which that's a whole other spiel.
Yeah, that's yeah. I think in 2020 a lot of people were just lives just kind of went
a lot of strain on everything. And
it was a year. That was what's funny for me though is when I met my now ex-wife back in 2001, I moved out of my parents' house and moved in with her when I was 20. And so 2020, when we were going through the divorce, March of that year, I moved out for the first time on my own ever. And then during COVID, so when you're shut into your place by yourself and then you get kids on the weekend, it was just a rough year, but it's so much better now. But so we moved out. So we liked it out here. We decided, why not? We'll give it a shot. We'll move out here. And so I moved out here. I was still enlisted in the National Guard. So I transitioned from Indiana to Oklahoma National Guard. Okay. And we loved it when we came out here. Kids loved it. They made really good friends. And actually was how I ended up getting into acting. My then wife was, there was a casting for a local theater play, like community theater. And
we're familiar.
Yeah. We've done a lot of community theater. Yeah.
And this isn't even like at a theater. It was just a local group of locals that get together. And so I was hesitant because growing up, I had a fear of stage fright. I had fear of being in front of people talking or doing anything. And so my wife at the time was like, you're always doing stuff. I did voices too in my free time, just around her, whoever else, just changed pitch my voice, and that's not really true. But anyway, so she was like, you know what, you've debated on this back and forth for about a week now. She's like, quit being scaredy cat and just go for it. Who knows? I'm like, fine, I'll do it. So I went out and auditioned, and I didn't get the lead, but I got a supporting role. And in most community theaters that are no budget, unless you have the lead role, you're doing another part as well, like ensemble. So I did a speaking role, sporting, and then I did like another small role at the end of it. It was the play version of the book Fahrenheit 451.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Really, really good story. I didn't really get a chance to read the book before doing the play, but then find out the story about basically knowledge is banned in the future, and then how people are starting to realize that knowledge is actually good. It's a really good story. So I played one of the firemen in it, which for people to this that don't know, in the story, books in the future were burned or banned, and when they would find them, they would have these firemen go out and actually burn them. And so one of mine was just a good. There, me and another guy had some good chemistry on stage and comic relief, and audience laughed. It was a lot of fun, and that was April 2016 when that play happened. It was a one night only production, and fell in love with acting instantly. And then I did one audition for a short film that year that they never could get the budgeting together, so that didn't happen. And then I was an extra in a feature film called Lord Finn in December, and then after that, I loved it so much that next year, 2 weekends a month, I was doing something. Whether being in a student film or short film, and then I was also taking off work, which added up after a while, to do extra work on big budgets. Like in 2017, I was a background extra in 4 to 6 bigger productions that came to town.
Okay.
And
yeah.
so I moved out to Oklahoma, maybe having on Facebook, maybe 400 friends. Now I'm close to maxing out again. And I've networked with so many people. I've grown my name out there quite a bit. And to where I've worked out of town, I've networked with people all over the country. And it's just, and fast forward to today, I'm still not a full-time working actor. I'm trying. Believe me, I'm trying. But
we understand.
Yeah, we understand that.
It's hard when you're not in like LA or Georgia to be able to get a regular booking gig, because a lot of people don't know this. You're in the middle of the country. Yes, the self-taping is, gotten better because since COVID happened, that's what we've done. But to be able to book stuff consistently in a smaller market, it's a pain in the butt. But I mean, it's still, I love what I do. I do DoorDash, Instacart, and Lyft in between to make money, just to anything to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm door dashing tonight.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He's actually door dashing after we finish our interviews tonight. So
well, I just
we
did
totally
an
get it.
right before I got with y'all. So I'll be probably going back to do one more of those before I pick my kids up for a couple days. So
yeah. I know during COVID, he's a flight attendant normally. And during COVID, I mean, there were times he would get all the way to the airport and they'd be like, nope, we're canceling your flight. And he's like, well, then I'll just DoorDash in Indy, and that really helped. I mean, thank goodness he had that pay protection where he still got paid his flight hours.
Good.
But he wasn't getting paid. They get a per diem, like from when they get to the airport until they come back to the airport, they get like this hourly, like $2 or $3, and that adds up. And so his door dashing not only gave us a break from each other during all of that, but it also did help the pocketbook a little bit. But
we understand the not working full-time actor, because I've done a couple of bit parts, and I do stand-up comedy on the side, which I haven't given. I'm hoping to get paid for that soon. I had paid gigs, and then when COVID happened that weekend, all out the window. So I'm basically building that back up again. So we totally know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've heard about flight attendants for it. And so are they flexible with your schedule, or do you pretty much have a set schedule you have to stick to on that?
Both. It's basically I've been there long enough that I can kind of pick the trips that I want.
Gotcha.
So that's flexible in and of that. But once you're assigned a trip, whether it's a day trip, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, whatever it is, you're required to fly it or switch with somebody who can, or call in. So in that respect, it's not flexible. So once you're awarded that trip, then you have to fly those legs.
So are you told you're going on that trip, or do you get to either say yes or no to accept it?
Both.
He kind of says, hey, here's the trips I would like to work.
Yeah, and then they assign those trips for the next month. But during the individual trip, if something happens, the weather, plane breaks, and you have to fly a different route or whatever, you don't really have any say in that.
Yeah, so you could be ready to be like
So,
flying to the Bahamas where you're like, yeah, it's a mandatory overnight in the Bahamas. And then they're like, nope,
Oh,
that got canceled. So now you're going to go to White Plains, New York or
well,
something
this
like that.
actually
It's like,
happened. This was in December, my first year flying,
Yeah.
and I had an overnight in Houston. I'm like, woo, Houston! I can pack my shorts. It's going to be
Yeah.
warm. And then once right before we went to Houston, they're like, oh, we have to switch you. You're flying to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Woo!
And I had no clothes for Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So I pretty much was holed up in the hotel room at 20 below zero.
Oh my gosh. So what'd you do when you the plane to go in like the Uber or Lyft or whatever though?
well, I mean, he's wearing his uniform.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
For
but
civilian clothes, you had nothing. Yeah.
yeah,
I
for
got you.
civilian
as far
clothes,
as like clothes when I got there,
yeah,
all I
like,
had
you know,
was shorts.
if he wanted to, you know, hit the subway down the street, he either wore his uniform, but you didn't even have your winter coat.
No, I didn't have my
No, he
winter
didn't
coat
even
at
have his
the
winter
time.
coat. So
So pretty much I went into the van, went to the hotel, stayed in the hotel. And then, of course, delivery in the middle of nowhere was expensive. So I paid like $30 for a pizza. So
Jeez.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it gets insane. It gets insane. I did
Wow.
not know this until he was in Canada. It
Yeah.
can get too cold for planes to start. Now, I don't know
Whoa.
why I thought that was impossible,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
because I know it's too cold for cars to start,
right. Well, I
you know.
guess the motors, I guess they don't want to turn or electronics probably because jet fuel, I think it has to be, well, if it gets too cold up there, yeah, even jet fuel, they got the risk of it freezing. So I guess that makes sense actually.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they have some sort of like, you know, way to get it started, but it takes a while.
Yeah.
Because yeah, he texted me. He's like, I have no idea when I'm getting out of here because it's too cold for the plane to start. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's possible? And he's like, well, yeah, it's just a big, huge engine. And that's when it's like, oh yeah, growing up in Indiana, it
Yeah.
gets too cold for a car to start. It gets too cold for humans to start sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
I know there's been plenty of winter where it's like, do I really need to go to wherever it was? I was thinking I needed to go.
Yeah, it was
No.
a 4-day trip, and those 3 nights I stayed in Edmonton at the hotel. I didn't go anywhere.
Damn, and then you had to order deliveries all the time, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm
So
guessing,
anyway.
do you pack now for cold and warm trips just in case?
Oh
If you
yeah.
do-
Always have like a backup wardrobe packed just in case.
Yeah, always got a pair of jeans and at least like, a hoodie or something.
Yeah.
But if you're in Edmonton, it's 12 below, not even a hoodie's gonna work for you. So,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah. So it gets fun. It gets fun. So one thing I always ask actors, is there any like tale from the set you can share that's either really hilarious or, just really weird?
Let me see here. Yeah, there's a couple of tales actually. And one of them was kind of an experience I had, which it was okay, but I look back at it now. I'm glad I did it, but at the time it sucked. I was in a short film with some really good friends called Elegy of a Hangman. Elegy. And I played this guy that ends up becoming a corpse, dead, basically killed. And so in Oklahoma, when the weather's 50 or 60 outside, about 60 degrees, it's not so bad. But when the wind's blowing, it can be cold.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I had to play a corpse, basically. And in the scene, it was a watery, shallow grave. So they had me in the ground, and I agreed to do this. So, and the joke was always afterwards, like, Dad will always be willing to play a corpse. But they had to spray, cold water into that grave and make it muddy and stuff, and had to put it on me too. And so with the wind blowing and stuff between takes, I was shivering. And then whenever it was time to yell action, that's when I had to lay there lifeless. And so that was a couple hours of that. It was, at the time, I was miserable. But then I always remember back to the times when I was in the field for the National Guard for the 2 weeks of annual training, and in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. As we all know, that place is definitely mosquito infested, and it can get hot.
Yeah.
So there was many nights to where you would sweat during the day, and then at night, it'd be okay, but then you wake up the next morning and it'd be cold. So it wasn't anything I wasn't used to. So that was an experience. And there was another one. It was a feature film that never went about. It was actually one of the first ones I was in, called Creature Feature. I don't ever know what happened to that one. It's one of those that you did. And
it's on a shelf somewhere,
Well, in that case, I think it never went past editing. Which
okay.
Sometimes whenever you work with somebody on a project like an editor or something, and then they drop out, sometimes the footage gets misplaced or something, or it never gets. So that one, it was one of those, like, if anybody, Ed Wood films, they were like so horrible that they became classics. That was the theme of it, because he was a huge Ed Wood fan,
Yeah.
and wanted to make a absolutely on purpose horrible film about a filmmaker who was trying to make an absolutely horrible film. And so in one scene where it was obviously, like, they even made it blatantly obvious the blood they were using, it was just a Hershey's chocolate syrup from a bottle. And so I was on the ground laying there, and they were pouring it all over the face. Yeah. And it started to seep into the eye.
Oh, no.
And so it started to burn and stuff, and I was able to wash it off. I got a little red eye from that one afterwards, but that was definitely an interesting one for sure. Was that one? But yeah, the watery, shallow grave was definitely one of those, like, devoted to what I was doing to make it look realistic. So
my gosh, it's a wonder you didn't get like hypothermia after a while. It's just, I imagine after that you're just like, I just need warmth. Just get me warmth. That's all I need.
Well, luckily those shots had to be done during the day, so the sun was out. Okay. So still cold, but it wasn't that bad. And then whenever I was done, I was able to go inside and get a shower and put dry clothes on. So yeah, it was one of those, I was glad to get warmth, but I would have done it any time, and I would still do it any time for those two. They were called the Warren brothers, okay. Austin Holton, okay. And they moved out to LA and finished up their schooling and are doing really well. So it was definitely a good experience working with some local filmmakers.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I know he's been working with some local filmmakers up here and been having a good time, so.
I have some friends that live out there. I know one of my actress friends, Rebecca Reinhart, lives up that way. She does like a lot of horror stuff. She travels.
I think I know the name, but keep going.
You do?
It sounds very familiar. I'll have to look her up, but yeah, if it's who I'm thinking of.
Carousel, I can't think of what it was called. She's done a ton of like slasher stuff up there.
But that's us. We love that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
And
keep going. Sorry.
No, you're good. And yeah, that's one thing too, is I'd hope that there's some paid work. It brings me back out that way, because I love going back. Actually, I'll be visiting my family the beginning of June, actually, in Evansville. So it'll be kind of a nice little trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Before all the summer heat really gets settled in, and this turns into the fifth circle of hell with humidity.
Yeah. A lot of people know that about Indiana. It's like a bowl, like the Ohio Valley. It sits in a bowl. And so the humidity there, it's not like Louisiana, but it's still worse than a lot of places.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I did not understand when a lot of people were talking about dry heat. I'm like, I have no idea. I have no concept of dry heat whatsoever. No. Then I flew to Vegas to work a convention, and it was like 110. And I step outside and I'm like, this actually doesn't feel that bad.
No.
And that's when it hit me how much humidity adds to the just yuck of heat. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because I'm walking around, it's like 110. I'm like, I could do this. And then, do I need to live in Las Vegas? And I'm like, no, really, I don't. I really don't need to live in Las Vegas. Because then I got walking down Fremont Street, and it's like, no.
Yeah, about Vegas, I've been there once, is Yeah, it's not the cleanest sometimes. And honestly, I wouldn't want to live there. I love visiting, but about a week of it, I'm done. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I was just there for like 3 days. And by the time I came home, it's like, okay, I'm good.
Yep.
I might go back one more time just to experience a little bit more.
Yeah,
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, because then it was fun. I was watching CSI and they were filming like on Fremont, and I'm like, oh, I know that place. I know that place. Wait, that's the hotel I stayed at. So that was kind of cool. But other than that, I'm just like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It would have to be a really good reason, and then then I'd go. But
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So we new stuff coming up. What you got
Yes,
coming up?
yes. Plug any new projects you
Yep.
have coming up.
Oh yeah, and also too, I have a website now, by the way.
Yes,
Yes,
plug
give us that.
everything. Plug
Yep.
away. Here's your
Plug
moment
away.
to plug away.
Okay, so for anybody that wants to reach me, I'll go ahead and throw that out there. I am on IMDb, but I have an actual professional acting website. It's DaleNiehaus.com. Super easy.
Yes.
Just my name. It's got everything on there. It's got a couple reels on there, which I'm waiting for a comedic one to get finished editing. So I'll have a comedic demo reel. It's got pictures, my headshots on there. It's got all my projects. And I think there's even a way a person can fill out a form and contact me as well. So that is a really good way to get a hold of me. I'm on Facebook as Dale A. Niehaus. My dad's on there too. But my picture shows a poster of a film, which I'll talk about in a second, called Escape. That's a short film, actually. It's going to be really good. They're going to edit it. And I think they're going to send it to some film festivals and probably post online how to see it. It's all about this fiance and her fiance that he ends up getting kidnapped. And I actually play the hitman that actually kidnaps him in that one.
Ooh, bad guy role.
That's fun.
Oh yeah, playing a bad
That's
guy.
awesome.
It's a blast. Oh my
Yeah.
god. It's
Yeah.
great.
It just it always strikes me, like I work this horror movie convention.
Yeah.
And all of the celebrities I've met that have played like just absolutely horrible people on screen, ripping teenagers apart and picking them up in a sleeping bag and bashing them against a tree, which wait, that guy did.
That was a Kane Hodder, wasn't it?
No, that one was Derek Mears.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Derek
Anyway, that was the
Yeah.
Friday the 13th with Derek. But in real life, they are like the sweetest, kindest people you would ever want to meet. And I'm like, do you get it all out? And they're like, yeah, basically it's cathartic. You get to do all this mean, horrible stuff to somebody that's not real, but you have to go through the emotions of it.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah.
You
You do.
so it's kind of a cathartic. Okay, I've got all my mean guy stuff out.
Oh yeah.
Now I can go back to being, who I really am. And so do you find, do you like getting your teeth into a really good bad guy role and just going for it, or?
I do. I like playing bad guy. I find it's hard to get the headspace at first because I'm such a nice guy in real life that trying to be a bad person. So it depends on like the role,
Yeah.
like with the hitman. Yeah, I did pretty good, but there's times where they kind of had to tell me to kind of make it look a little more aggressive. And so sometimes it takes me a little bit for that way, but it's fun because in a sense you're playing something you're really not. And so you're free to be able to do that in a safe place because normally in real life, if you were mad at somebody or something and you kind of wanted to, stand up for yourself in a sense, it's not like staged. Like, it's not like one of the scenes where like you're supposed to do this and the other person's not going to hit you. And so it's really great. It's freeing. It's fun. And playing a bad guy is really awesome. Because you're allowed to do all that stuff. But getting in headspace can be difficult sometimes. But sometimes it just takes a matter of just rehearsing it and then getting to that comfort level to where hey, it's okay to do this right here.
Yeah.
Because
yes, exactly.
When I'm done doing the acting for this, then I can go back to the way it was. And
Mhm.
it's therapy in a sense, especially if you are the type of person that is so nice and all that you don't like to be rude to people.
Yeah.
And this,
Mhm.
you kind of be able to let loose and maybe take some of those aggressions that you were holding in and bring them out in the character in a sense to where you're not actually like, beating somebody up, but able to actually bring those emotions to the level. So it is definitely therapeutic in a way.
Oh yeah, definitely. And similar to screen therapy, where they have you just like go in a closet or whatever and just get out all those emotions, but you're doing it through a character. And I totally get that, because that's kind of like my approach to stand up. It's like you pretty much you get 25% Ian here. But once I'm on
Thankful for that.
stage, you walked into the space and they gave me a microphone. It's all coming out. So there you go. So I totally get that. Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
great way to tap into that in a safe place.
Yeah, like I said, 2020 was a true test for our marriage. So
I can imagine. I think it was a test for a lot of people's marriages and relationships and life itself. So I can.
Oh yeah.
Are still happy and together, not like wanting to choke each other. That's a good sign.
Yeah. Because I mean, when lockdown started, I was like, okay, here we go. We're gonna have to figure something out. Yeah, DoorDash helped, but
oh yeah,
but knowing that, he didn't have that stand-up release thing, and the fact that he was going to get paid. I mean, he had paying gigs lined up, ready to go, and then just.
Well, I did do a very short-lived YouTube thing with a comedy thing with a puppet, which kind of kept me creative in a camera and away from her for a little bit to do that. So that was fun. So, but it's just not the same as having the people right there and you interacting,
getting that
and
feedback,
messing with them with their heads. I love doing that.
So I mean, did you because you do voice work?
Yes.
Did you discover like you got more voice work during lockdown, or was it there was no tick increase?
Well, see, I have not yet found, and I say voice work, a lot of it was just like I've done like volunteer stuff for like some smaller projects. So I really didn't, but then I haven't really delved too much into setting up a home recording studio and then putting an audio reel together. Still need to do that. But like I did some, like a friend of mine did this like mashup YouTube thing called Cobra. It was like taking some of the G.I. Joe cartoons and mashing them like together, and did some voiceover for that. And that was doing Cobra Commander kind of hurt my voice a little bit, but
I can see that.
Yeah,
that was fun. But it was just a little like passion thing of his, and then like the Matthew Hunter stuff with Cootie and stuff. Yeah, so I kind of did get some more of that, and it was just kind of for some local filmmaker type stuff that just needed some volunteers to do it, and it was fun. But I definitely would like to figure out how to get my home studio set up, what all I would need to actually be able to actually maybe start doing some actual paid gigs on that. It's just that. But I've been doing voice impersonations like in my free time. I started developing that like from my early 20s. And so I started out with some smaller stuff. And then developed into, doing things like Goofy and Yogi Bear, stuff like that. It's fun to do that around even my kids or my girlfriend because they just laugh whenever I just do the goofiest stuff with it. And it's just like, my son, my 19-year-old found a YouTube video, an audio thing of Goofy doing Wake Me Up by Evanescence. And when I was still married, I did that, and now my ex-wife cannot listen to that song because I ruined it because I did it in Goofy's voice.
Been there, done that with some stuff of his. He'll do a weird voice to something, and then I'm like, great, I'll hear it later.
Oh yeah,
the original version, and it's like, it's in my head now. It's stuck in there. It's gonna need surgery to remove, or something.
It does, is it because once in a while I'll be like, well, how you doing over there? You're looking awful good and stuff. It's fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah. But I've been there, suffered through it.
Well, what's funny is that I do different voices, but it doesn't sound like anybody. It's just a different voice.
Yeah, he just does weird voices, every once in a while.
I can apply to a character later on.
Yeah, and I do too. I'll change my voice, and it's not any particular character, but the voice sounds different.
Yeah.
And I'll do it sometimes when I'm around people, and they'll just be like, "What was that?" I'm like, "Oh,
yeah."
Sorry, I was just out loud. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, did I do that with my outside voice? Sorry. Yeah. So, well, let's see. You said it's called The Escape coming up?
It's called Escape.
Escape.
Just to
Just Escape. Okay.
Yeah, there's that, and then we haven't finished filming it yet, but there's a TV pilot series that we're doing locally called The Joneses. It's about a family called the Joneses. It's kind of we take the interview aspect from like The Office and Modern Family to where the cast is actually looking at the camera. It's like having an interview type style. So that's in there, but but that's only in small segments. And then it's all about this family that just struggling to live everyday life and get through the hardships. And it has a mix of comedy, drama, and everything else. And it's family friendly. They wanted to make it that way. So that way, it wasn't just, kids could watch it too. So that's not done filming yet. Once that does, I think they're looking at trying to find some streaming service to try to put it on. And
Gotcha.
it's an entire series. It's not just 1 or 2 episodes. We're doing an entire season 1. And
so it's like ready to go. If somebody picks it up, you're like, hey, here it is. It's ready.
Yep, that's the idea. And like I said, we'll see where it goes. It's been one of those that everybody devoted their time to it, volunteered for it. And if it gets picked up, then everybody will just be able to actually might be rewarding to everybody else. But it's been rewarding in a sense because we've all become kind of like family and we've just had fun doing these characters. And I play one of the leads on there, Mike Jones, the head of the family, who actually he's a father, his wife's a lawyer, he's a gynecologist. It's kind of funny.
Okay,
Here you go.
It could be fun. Yeah, streaming services seem to be the way to go anymore for trying to shop something out, because to get something on a network right now, you almost have to make a deal with Satan or something. I don't know, but yeah, streaming services seem to be a little more willing to give something, the 1 season try on their platform. So
to see if it works out or not.
Yeah, fingers crossed for you on that, and whatever other projects come your way. Unfortunately, we have to wrap because we've got like back-to-back stuff going on. This is what our 4th thing this weekend that we've done.
Wow.
So
goodness gracious, y'all.
Well, like I said, with him being a flight attendant, when he's home, we've got to try and cram as much as we can into the 3 or 4 days that he's home.
Yep.
I'm
usually editing on the road. So we've been talking to Dale Niehaus. I'm trying to get it out, but the tequila's kicking in from the margarita. I should probably eat something. That should probably be a thing I do here real quick. Look for him in Escape. Hopefully soon, and the Joneses hopefully gets picked up soon. Check out his website.
Yeah, check out his website, and I'm let me know if you can find Cootie. I'm very interested in that. It just sounds sick and twisted enough that I would probably really love it.
Yep.
So yeah.
If you like some of those really cheesy low budget stuff, you'll definitely love that.
I mean, sometimes they're the best thing ever. I mean, seriously, sometimes the low budget stuff, they show you that they can do all of this with $5, and it turns out to be,
it's just really creative
fun
stuff.
Fun and creative. And if you could find that for me, let me know.
I will definitely do that. I'll let you know for sure.
Great. So we will definitely have you on, especially if the Joneses get picked up.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
We will definitely have you back on to promote that.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. Yeah, helping a fellow Hoosier out. You may not live here anymore, but it's always going to be in your soul. So
it's always, it's my home away from home. It's always be my home.
Yeah. You can take the boy out of Hoosier, but you can't take the Hoosier out of the boy. So
nope, never.
So well, thanks a lot, and good luck with everything coming up.
Later on.
Okay, thanks. Okay, everybody, that was voice actor Dale Niehaus, fellow Hoosier Dale Niehaus, always wanting to help out a fellow Hoosier. We have seriously so much stuff coming up. This is the 4th thing we've done just this weekend. So a lot of exciting stuff coming up for us. So, stay tuned.
Check out Dale Niehaus's stuff.
Yes, DaleNiehaus.com.
And then IMDb, whatever you want else. I mean, he's definitely up and coming. He's got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So if you're into watching who's coming up, there you go.
So yeah, check him out, and we'll be back with more stuff soon.
Yep.
So till next time.